completely different. You're about to see some musical comedy from Marcus French. So make some noise for Marcus.
All right, thanks. Let's hear it for Kristen. Yeah, great job. Let's hear it for Joe and Cody in the Covert Café. Yeah, the place is great. You know, this is one of my favorite places, maybe second only to my back porch by a long margin. But I got squirrels that hang out on my back porch. Covert Café is sadly free. Oh. Right, how we doing? Good. Down? You guys hear my guitar okay? Oh, first thing I'm going to talk about is important part of relationships, and that's boundaries. Right? You know, it's important. They got to protect them. But, sorry. But, you know, sometimes people challenge them. You know, like I dated somebody once who was testing boundaries, you know, like the Raptors, Jurassic Park. You know? You post more pictures of me on your social media. Cancel your plans with your kids and hang out with me. Let me see your phone. I just want to look for your photos. But there's one boundary I never thought that I'd really have to defend. I was surprised by multiple times. So I wrote a song, and it's really about like how there's some lines that shouldn't be crossed. Well, I've never felt this kind of way. I can't find the words to say just how much of you mean to me. My heart feels like the rising sun or wild horses on the run, because our love has set me free. Well, I have your heart and you have mine, and I know our love will age like wine, but there's one thing I've been thinking through. It's the best thing I've ever had. I should be in it for all the good and bad, but I just don't want to poop in front of you. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Get out, please. Get out, please. Get out, please. Our souls have become intertwined, and the closer I look, the more I find infinite things to love about you. Well, our roots grow together like mighty oaks, and I adore the feeling that thought provokes, but I'll still close the door for number 2. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. That sound carries, the sound carries, that sound carries. Our harmony was a mystery that with time becomes our history as we travel to our eternal rendezvous. I know we'll always be together, traveling on the edge of forever, but I just need to be alone when I poo. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Spray Febreze, spray Febreze, spray Febreze. Thank you, yeah. There's some singing along, I love it. Yeah, that's good stuff. Oh man, so next thing we're going to talk about a little bit is being creepy. I mean, at least all the men in the room, we've been there, and probably some of the women too. You know, it happens. Sometimes it's not on purpose. You know, I realized it when a few months back there was a young female comedian who had a lot to drink and a mic. I was trying to get her a ride home so she'd get home safe, and I realized all the things I was saying were the same things a predator would say. No, I'm just looking out for you. Come get in my car. Come on, what's your address? You know? It reminded me of a story a long time ago. A woman told me about how she was walking home late at night, and there was a man following her, and he was walking faster than her, so like he was catching up with her, and it made her really nervous. So I was in a similar situation a couple weeks later, and I thought, I'll just hang back and kind of keep pace so I don't make her nervous. Well, now I'm just stalking her, you know? Like, that's worse. I'm trying to figure out where she lives. You know, even It's accidental a lot of times, and sometimes, you know, it's the guy wants something, you know, maybe attention or something. And it's still accidental, you know, even if it's not okay. Like, to hear things like, you know, with a body like that, I'm not surprised you're a runner. You know, your squat form could use some work. Let me know if you want some pointers. I couldn't help but notice the groceries you got there are heavy if you need a hand. By the way, guys, if you ever find yourself saying, I couldn't help but notice, you don't need to follow up with that. You know what I mean? You can notice and not say anything, right? You gotta watch out for those other guys. They're only interested in one thing. What are you interested in, pal? What are you thinking about? I'm sorry for being creepy. Wasn't sure if you could see me. I swear I wasn't trying to follow you home. And I didn't take your picture when I took out my phone. I wasn't staring at your ass. I really am just not that fast. I understand if you reprehend, but please don't tell your big boyfriend. 'Cause I'm really not that sleazy, just accidentally creepy. Thank you. All right, I got one more thing I want to run through. It's a story about a time I was working in southern Kansas, in a really small town. So I was working construction. There was only two places for us to get lunch. There were restaurants right across the street from each other. And they're both Mexican places. One where they didn't speak English, and one that was run by the whitest family in Kansas. So I'll let you guess which one had better food. So at the one where they didn't speak English, so that was a problem. Like, I don't speak Spanish, you know? I took French in high school because I had a crush on the girl in the class. I went on to marry that girl. Not really. She laughed at me and called me a loser, and now I do comedy. So here we are. So this restaurant, it was like a, it was like a counter-style cafe, so that, you know, the menu was like the old letterboard kind of above where you order at the counter, with, you know, the letters that you put into place. And I decided since I couldn't ask questions, I didn't know all the menu items, I just started at the top of the menu and ordered my way down. I was working there for a while. So, you know, it started out like, hola, uno burrito, por favor. Next day was, hola, you know, uno enchilada, por favor. Next day, hola, you know, uno quesadilla, por favor. It was going pretty good. You know, the food was all right, getting along with them. But ran into a snag the next day, went in and said, hola, uno con queso, por favor. And the woman behind the counter said, ¿qué? I said, oh, sorry, uno que queso, por favor. And she said, quesadilla con queso? And that's when I realized that quesadilla con queso was one item that was too long for one line, so it's split into two. Yeah. So I like to think about that from her point of view by switching the language around. So I came into the place with just the most confidence in the world and said, hello, one with cheese, please. And she said, what? And I said, oh, one what cheese, please? And then she said, quesadilla with cheese? I said, sí. So the other place across the street, you know, it's like a sit-down place with menus. They serve your typical Mexican fare, but with the Caucasian twist of making it without flavor. It was like they used good ingredients, but like the taco meat, it was just ground beef, you know? Like, seriously, the food was so bland, I don't think you could accurately call it cultural appropriation, you know? Gringo Mexican restaurant, gotta use more spice. Can't just use salt, call it Spanish rice. mean, it's just rice at that point, right? Yeah. Anyways, so it was a sit-down place on the menu, so you could ask questions, which was great because I had one question about an item on there they had called the Mexican grilled cheese. And my question was, what is that? And the waiter said, oh, it's great. My brother invented it. What we do is we take a flour tortilla and we put cheese in it and fold it in half. All right, and then we put butter on the outside and then we fry it up in a pan. It's really good. Cut it into pieces. You can dunk it in salsa or sour cream. And I said, you mean a quesadilla con queso? They said, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. All right, everybody. I think I'm a little early on time, but that's all I've got. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Have a great night. Thanks again for our host.